Hey guys, what's up? Coach Mike here at Orange Theory Fitness in Parker. I'm with Cam with our More Life Mondays, and we had Dave on this week. He's just an awesome member, does a lot of cool things outside the studio, works really hard in here. Really, really fit dude. Probably one of the most fit members that we have. Cam, why don't you tell him a little about Dave's interview?
So Dave's actually one of the most dedicated people I've ever met. He's really committed to his fitness both inside the studio and outside the studio. And it was actually really inspiring to hear what his goals are and what motivates him.
What's cool about Dave is he's at retirement age now, so he's retired, and he's doing more fitness stuff than even a 25-year-old would do, right? Let me tap into our interview a little bit because I want you to know something about Dave. He was talking about how hard the Boston Marathon was. It wasn't just because it was a normal marathon. I knew the conditions that day, and I knew a couple of members that were running it. Nikki was one of them, and then Dave. It was 38 degrees, raining, and like 30-mile-an-hour winds. So when he talks about it being very mentally challenging, those were the conditions he was talking about. But Dave's just an awesome guy. He's liked by all of our members. He always has a smile on his face. He's a really good dude.
I've never seen him not smiling.
Yeah,
ever.
Very humble, very nice guy. If you work out at Orange Theory, you probably know who Dave is. Enjoy the interview. Thanks, guys. Hey guys, what's up? Coach Mike here at Orange Theory Fitness in Parker. I'm with Dave, and this is pretty special because Dave, I've told him this a little bit, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it to all you guys. Dave's actually a huge role model for me in the studio. It's because of all the things you can do as you age, and I look up to you for that, and I want to do that someday. And whenever I look at you, I think about putting away money for retirement. It's the same as putting away workouts for retirement, because you just told me you retired not too long ago.
I did, yep, last year, 2018.
And you were telling me, hey, I'm going out and I'm paddleboarding, you're doing all these cool things. Most people can't do those things when they're retiring, so you definitely motivate me, you inspire me. Let's talk about, you've got a lot of things that you've done. Let me list off a couple. Dave's hiked every 14er in the state of Colorado, all 58 of them, correct?
54, yeah.
54,
Right.
yeah. It depends on who you're talking to.
But
yeah, so
even got those extra ones.
Yeah, so 54, 58, whatever you want to call it. He's ran the Boston Marathon. He qualified a couple years ago.
Right.
It was tough conditions, but you ran the Boston Marathon. You've done a lot of other cool things. Let's talk about when your fitness journey kind of started. And then when it started at Orange Theory, I remember the day because I was your coach. It was during Hell Week.
Yes.
I was like, oh, he's never coming back. And here you were every day since. But let's talk about your fitness journey and what kind of it looks like the past, 30, 40 years and what it's kind of looked like.
Well, I've always tried to be fit. I've always been somewhat athletic. But, I've never made any, records or anything like that. But I've always been fit. I've been a runner and a hiker. So in school, I ran and I did basketball and track, things like that. But once I started having a family, I started shifting to other things. So I was doing a lot of hiking. That's when I hiked all the 14ers.
Yep.
Did a lot of biking. I must have done at least 20 Ride the Rockies and Bicycle Tours of Colorado, where you've gone over every mountain pass in the state. Gone out to California and done the Death Ride. Just done a lot of things like that.
Cool.
So just always been very active. But as you age, it gets harder and harder to do things, and I think it's even more important to continue to exercise. And coming to Orange Theory, what it really gave me, first of all, it's fun. And other workouts just weren't all that fun. I mean, you can run all you want by yourself, you can bike by yourself, you can go to the gym and work out, but it's just not fun. But with Orange Theory, I came upon a community here. And it's a community that likes to work out. It's fun to be around people, have energy, you have coaches that guide and to motivate you. And so here is where I wanted to continue my journey and work on that base, that building block for going out and doing more things now that I've retired. The first thing on my bucket list when I retired was to run the Boston Marathon.
You got it done.
This helped me get there.
Yep.
Not only physically but mentally, because as you mentioned, the conditions for Boston were terrible.
Yep.
And you've always said, you in particular have said, don't let your mind put limits on what your body can do.
Yeah,
and believe me, I wanted to quit in the Boston Marathon. My mind kept saying, this isn't right. You shouldn't be here. But my body just said, yeah, you can do this. You can keep going. So you kind of have to overcome that notion that your mind is telling you to quit and you can keep going.
Yeah.
And that's what I continue to want to do.
And one thing that really I see you doing a lot in here is I'm always impressed on how hard you get after it on the weight room floor, right? So when you told me your whole background, it was like kind of endurance, kind of like my background, endurance.
Right.
But tell the membership base or somebody that's viewing out here how important, especially as you age, because you lose muscle mass as you age. Tell them how important it is to get in here because you get after it on the weight room floor and how that's kind of helped you. I mean, Dave, I'll just tell you, he's got a body fat percentage of under 10%. You know, I'm not going to throw out his exact age, but he's not my age. You know what I mean? And he's still got a body fat percentage of under 10%. That's impressive. That doesn't happen by just going out and running and hiking.
Right.
That takes strength training as well. So kind of talk about how that's helped you as well.
You bet. As I've gotten older, one of the things you do lose is muscle mass and bone density.
Yep.
Right? And you've got to keep both of those in order to continue to do the biking and the hiking and the running. I've never had any hip problems or knee problems, you know, and fingers crossed, but a lot of that is due to then the weights. You've got to add weight to your cardio training, and between the weight floor and the rower, I think it's a real good all-around workout for your core and for your muscles in general. So yeah, I've not only tracked my body fat, but my bone density.
Okay, cool.
Because that's really important.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you think about people taking falls and breaking a hip and different things like that. You hear that stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of that could be prevented by strength training, and that'll create a better bone density and that type of thing. Yeah. Tell us kind of some of your next goals coming up and what you're trying to accomplish in the next couple of years.
Right. Well, the next thing now, again, that I've retired, I've got a little more free time, so I can travel a little further. I do have Kilimanjaro. I want
That's
to get
awesome.
to Kilimanjaro and climb that. I want to get to the base of Everest. I'll never climb it, but my brother and I want to get to the base camp at Everest and just see what we can do there and do some trekking in
That's
the
cool.
fall. And then my bike rides, I've not done biking. I think you can bike forever.
Yep.
And that's what I plan to do. Probably not as much running because eventually it does get to your joints,
Yep.
but I think you can bike forever.
Yep.
And so I'll continue to do a lot of bike rides, both in Colorado and outside of Colorado. My wife wants to get to Italy. Somehow touring around
cool.
Tuscany on a bike is appealing to her, so it sounds
Appealing
good to
to
me too.
Yeah.
So
for
we'll
sure.
probably get there. But a lot of travel, but a lot of exercise along the way.
Well, cool.
All of it includes exercise.
I tell you what, if you're a 6:15 or a 7:30 or maybe even any type of morning member at Orange Theory Fitness, you know who this guy is because people talk about him a lot. He's one of the most modest guys you can come across, and he's happy for everybody. We love having you as a member, and I seriously appreciate you coming on and telling your story. Thanks for tuning in, guys.